Whenever you think of Monster Jam drivers, who's the number one drivers you think of? Well, of course, Dennis Anderson and Tom Metz. Adam would be next. But then you go down the list a little bit more, and then you'll think about drivers who didn't have as much success. Really were good drivers have on average. That weren't able to win very often, if at all, still were able to fill out the field and do at least have something memorable. David Smith, Candice Jolly. However, if you get down to the very low end, you start to get into the forgotten drivers. Some of these forgotten drivers, though, are really forgotten. And this is going to be a series I'm going to be doing some of this on. However, we're going past forgotten drivers such as like Scott Pointenbard and Corey Clark. We're going to a driver that for the longest time, there's been no one, like legit, no one has known who this person is. Not many people in the industry knows who it is personally or really anything at all. He would make a debut for a truck that would historically go and have the most drivers in its history and would also be one of the most important trucks for the entire history of Monster Jam. And after his debut, literally, he just disappeared. Like something only a DB Cooper could do. Well, let's talk about him. Chad Reed. So Chad Reed's career started in around, actually I'm not 100% sure when, but from what information I've been able to find, which has been very scarce, if not at all, 1999 or 2000 from my guess, since he would start off as a crew chief for Tony Farrell in the Wild Thing. And he probably was a crew member also long beforehand, but really as much information as I can find. Eventually he would also become a crew member or work again rather, or work with Tony Farrell whenever Farrell went to drive the brand new Blue Thunder monster truck. Well, it wasn't brand new, but it was his first season behind the wheel, likely in 2002. However, just a note, this is likely 2002. However, there's going to be something else that really makes this really interesting as well as we get into this. But now it's time to talk about his drive. The truck that he ended up driving in 2003, which by the way, this is the lost 2003 season, would be in the Oakland Arena. Yes, this arena. You guys know what it is. This is a photo from it, I think from like legit the same event. And this is him driving the truck, literally. So, ultimately, whenever we're looking at the results, he didn't win anything. Like, it wasn't much of a win. However, considering it's your debut and a brand new truck, you'd think that overall he would improve overall. As considering, though, the amount of drivers that ended up driving this thing, even though there were 3 different bodies, I have to say it's something interesting, considering this truck, Monster Mutt, was going to be one of the most important trucks for Monster Jam, as drivers such as Charlie Pocket would get his first and only championship at this point. Ryan Anderson made his debut in this freaking thing. And you have other drivers as well, and also you have some of the bus and drivers who just were not good in this thing. However, we really don't know much about Chad Reed, because after this event, after these 3 days, he straight up disappeared. Why? It was due to a family emergency. He would immediately retire from monster trucking altogether. And really, no one knows where he went afterwards. No one really knows who he was. And the craziest part, there is no good photo of Chad Reed either. It's like legit. He was a crew member, and while he definitely worked in the industry and definitely didn't do anything illegal, it's like his run in the Monster Mutt as a driver one time, or like one series, and he immediately retired, like a DB Cooper move. Now, ultimately, Todd Frolic, who was a former Gravedigger driver, would end up replacing Reed for the rest of the year. Now, one other thing as well, before you guys saying Chad Reed motocross driver, no, this is not even the same guy. And like I said before, no good photos of this guy exist. None at all exist. And Wait a second. Hold on a minute. So this is legit, apparently. According to a couple people in the USHRA server, which is where I got this from, this is Chad Reed in the blacksmith, nonetheless, which is very interesting. He kind of also looks like Scott Hartsock. Now, he's with, obviously, close friend. Apparently, I'm gonna guess maybe one of his, like, kind of closer friends, Tony Farrell, and he's also with Pablo Huffaker. Now, again, you see him in the blacksmith. So apparently he was a crew member for the blacksmith team, which was Pablo's own truck at the time, which was definitely still a little bit odd and a little bit strange. But still, to say though that this was very interesting and overall kind of wild that this photo even exists, it's kind of a thing. Apparently, again, this is very interesting. This is very, I cannot confirm this or anything like that. Apparently, he has a social media presence on Facebook somewhere. Again, I am not going to try and search this down. You can go look for it yourself. But yeah, apparently he might have a social media presence at somewhere where he shows off other merchandising and stuff when he like crewed or something. I don't know. I'll see about it. But yeah. Really, that's about it, and that's about all I could find on Chad Reed. So this is a driver who would go on to be a crew member and even a crew chief for a time, and would eventually even have such as a great run. However, or rather, not really the we don't really know what happened since, like, again, there's no footage. However, really, it's kind of insane to me that this is a driver who actually did compete in Mosham, and he is tied for the record as the shortest tenure in Mosham history. Tied with Jackie Kazor. I slaughtered that name. I apologize for that. But yeah, that's it. This is a driver who debuted for one of the most iconic trucks. A truck that became one of the most famous and infamous, with legends driving it all this time. And yet, not many people know where he went or really what happened to him at all. This is just one of the greatest mysteries, even still to this day, about what happened to Chad Reed, the DB Cooper of Monster Jam. So I thank you guys for watching this first episode of WTH Happened to series. This is going to be a new series I plan on doing, like a good chunk on different drivers. It's going to be just all kinds of drivers. This series could honestly go on forever. This is a series that could carry this channel. And it's going to be a whole different type of content, a very interesting kind. Hope you guys enjoy. Like, subscribe, and yeah, please hit the bell for notifications. And hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time.